time I see you now, get that look in my eye. Every time I see your mouth, I hear that smile. The early misty morning light, I heard the engine turning in the old Ford outside. You were leaving me again today. You would convince me again today. You're leaving this hometown looking for someone else's golden ring. Should have said so long, Susanna. Hush now, don't you cry. So long, Susanna. Don't you cry for me. Which programming language would you say you're most proficient? This is an easy one. English. English is the new programming language. I'm not a coder. Well, it's called the AI Learning Lab. How could you do AI without coding? Because you can. I mean, I suppose pushed, it would be HTML, but the HTML I know is from the 90s. So it doesn't look anything like the HTML that you do today. Kyle, want to teach us how to use Perplexity to merge multiple documents? If I knew how to do that, I would love to. What is it with the stumpers? Everyone coming in. Sir, what are your qualifications? Sir, yes, I was inquiring, sir, when it comes to programming languages, sir, what by chance, pray tell, are your qualifications? I ain't got none. Rather, carry on then. Stump Kyle Tuesday. But seriously, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. This is the AI Learning Lab. And if you're like, why are you playing guitar? I thought we were here to learn code. So here's my, let me give you a little bit about my background. I have been an entrepreneur, I don't know, most of my life. And in the mid-90s, I started one of the first online magazines and one of the first digital agencies in 1994. So I was there for the very beginning of that. The reason I got into the web development that early is that I'd been intrigued by the internet for years, but for years, the internet had been the purview of data scientists and engineers and librarians, and it was command line only, and you kind of had to know IP addresses and shit like that. And it was very, very technical. And I'm not non-technical. I'm fine at product development. You know, I know how to do shit, but I'm not a programmer. I'm not an engineer. And so the World Wide Web comes out and it makes all of that command line stuff as simple as clicking a hyperlink. And that was the moment where I realized, oh shit, something is different here, right? The internet is now available for the 99% of people who are not coders and librarians and engineers and mathematicians and academics. And so the online magazine I started was an art and culture magazine, because the internet back then, all it had on it were dissertations and scientific research and things like that. And I thought, if you could put up something with culture and art and things like that, it would probably get noticed, because there's nothing on here like that. And so I put out this online zine called Urban Desires, and I uploaded taught myself enough HTML to put together the first issue, uploaded the files to some server in California. I didn't even know how to do that. Back then, your computer had to call another computer, literally, that thing. So I had my computer call a computer in California and hand it some files. And 3 weeks later, there was a full-page article about Urban Desires in a Parisian newspaper. 3 weeks later, full-page article in French in Paris. And in that moment, I knew that the world had changed. And I knew that almost no one else on the planet knew that the world had changed. But I got to experience it. Geography had collapsed, and the distance between, sending something used to take weeks or days, now was instant. And I knew that was going to change everything. This channel is about what happens when that exact same moment happens for AI and machine learning, which is November 30th, 2022, ChatGPT launches. ChatGPT does for AI and machine learning what the World Wide Web did for the internet. So while I'm not a programmer, what I'm about is, how do the 98.5% of us that are not coders and engineers, I think it's gone up a little since I was doing things back in the 90s, 98.5% of us who aren't that, how do we use this stuff? And if you are an engineer, it's still completely different, because it can now code. And if you're like, well, it can't code as good as me, well, have you used it lately? Right? And give it 2 years. Have you looked at the growth of it? So what does that mean? And so what this channel is about getting curious and understanding how it works, and what the implications are, and what the future of work is, and what the future of self-expression is. Because in the end, I think what our job becomes is not to have the tactical skills. It matters less and less every day if I'm good at this programming language versus that one. What matters more and more is, what's my idea? And do I understand what I want? Like, what's my intention? So I believe that our job is to become much more like a producer, like a Rick Rubin, where our job is to hold the fidelity of the idea, to have the idea, I want to do this, and hold the fidelity of that idea, and then understand how to use enough of these AI tools to get them to do all the legwork to pull off your idea and amplify your idea and reimagine your idea. So that's what's going on here. It looks like a zine. Exactly, visionary. My dull sister-in-law is utilizing GPT on a daily basis. Yeah, and if you haven't played, if you're a coder and you haven't played with a tool like Replit Agent or Lovable in particular, Lovable for me is the first of the vibe coding apps to really start to hit a level of usability for non-coders that they can still build fairly robust apps that have database backends and authentication and things like that. They don't have e-commerce in there yet, but I'm sure that'll come. But just like you can speak an image into existence with Midjourney and a video into existence with Runway, with Lovable, you can speak an app into existence. And coders and engineers are poo-pooing that, saying, well, that's not real coding, right? Which is the exact argument that photographers said when digital cameras came out, and what painters said when cameras came out, when photography came out, right? In the 1700s, 1800s, I think 1800s. 1845, 47, the daguerreotype came out. That's not real art. You just push a button. It was literally the same argument as what's going on today with AI. Oh, you just push a button. You can make money with ChatGPT. That's not work. That's not real creative, right? Well, a funny thing happened on the way to the demonization of AI is that all of the tools, all of the platforms have gotten increasingly sophisticated and increasingly complex. And if, like, for example, if you want to be competent at ChatGPT right now, ChatGPT is not a single tool, right? The last time I counted, and they've added some since then, the last time I counted, ChatGPT was 27 distinct tools or features that radically altered what it did or what it could do. 27 different tools. Do you know them all? Do you like, right? Do you know what code interpreter is? Do you know what ChatGPT agent is? Have you used it? Do you use it on a regular basis? Do you know what it's good at, what it's not good at? Like, it's absolutely fucking insane. Do you use advanced voice on a regular basis? Did you know that you can now upload videos into ChatGPT and it can analyze them for you? That didn't exist 2 weeks ago. And every single tool, whether it's a video tool or an image tool like Midjourney, every single tool just keeps adding features and features and features and features. So we have absolutely crossed the point where any single person can even keep track of what's happening. No one can. So one of the things that I strongly recommend is, Brandon, if you could pull up the what's it called? AI Salon, the AI Salon, banner. One of the things that I believe deep in my soul, like something that I'm very passionate about. So in 1994, when I started Urban Desires and I co-founded agency.com, there was a third thing that I did. There was a third thing that I created. It was called the World Wide Web Artists Consortium. WAC. And it was this New York City-based group that was anyone who was trying to figure out what the hell this World Wide Web thing was, come twice a month to this meeting, and we're going to talk about it. And it became kind of the central hub of people trying to figure this shit out. And so the week ChatGPT came out, I started the AI Salon. And the AI Salon is a similar sort of ethos. Like, come with your curiosity, try to figure out what this stuff's all about, but do it in community. And here's why. We're in an inventive, expansive phase of AI right now. So 1994 to 1997 or 8, the World Wide Web, nobody knew anything about it. There were no manuals. Everything was changing. They kept changing HTML. They kept changing browsers. They kept changing how you found stuff on the internet. So there was a 3 or 4 year period where it was just primordial soup. And the only people that were doing anything with it were figuring out on their own. And so what that community did, what that group did, was it allowed us on a bi-weekly basis to get together and say, what did you figure out? Oh, what did you figure out? Ah, okay, that's cool. Let me go back to my shop and do those things. And I'll come back next time and tell you what I figured out. That's what the AI Salon is. And that's what this meeting is about. TikTok pin. Chat voice found a folder in my Notion today. Oh, that's exciting. So advanced voice used to be fairly disconnected from your chat history and things like connections and things. Do you know what connections are in ChatGPT? Have you enabled a connection? Do you know what MCPs are? Do you know that ChatGPT supports them? Do you know that ChatGPT has 5 different personalities? I could actually go show all this stuff instead of just rambling about it. But the point I'm making is, we're in an expansive phase of AI right now. And I don't think it's going to stabilize probably for another 3 to 4 years, right? We're 3 years in as of November 30th, 2025. We're 3 years into the ChatGPT era. I think we've probably got another 3, probably more like 5, where the tools just keep expanding and morphing and changing, and what's possible keeps changing and morphing. You can't keep up with it, but you also can't ignore it. You can't just sit on the sidelines, in my opinion. I think anyone today who's actively choosing not to participate with AI is doing themselves a massive disservice. Massive. Massive. Because from where I look at things, AI is not going away. You don't invest hundreds of billions of dollars, trillions of dollars, right? NVIDIA just committed $100 billion to invest into OpenAI, which OpenAI is then going to hand back to them, and then they're going to give them GPUs. It's one of those Silicon Valley kind of deals. But it's $100 billion. You don't put $100 billion into something and have it go away. It's not going away. So if it's not going away, then we as human beings have two choices. And it is literally binary. You either deal with it or you don't. This channel is about dealing with it. What is it? How does it work? What's cool? What's not cool? What's dangerous? What's exciting? And you know what we're finding in here? Is that all of the tropes that are like the robots are going to kill us and the just all that bullshit. It's the world's greatest plagiarism engine. Tend to be things that people use as excuses why they're not participating with AI. And what we find is the people that are participating with AI, if they kind of strap AI on like a jetpack, it amplifies their ideas and it's incredibly inspiring and can make a huge difference for people. Is it going to absolutely decimate jobs? It is. But it's going to make whole new categories of jobs possible. And then your next question is going to be, well, what are they, smarty pants? I don't know. We literally cannot anticipate what's coming, just like the farmers in the 1800s could not anticipate what would happen when steam engines took all the farming jobs. 80% of the agrarian society lost their jobs with the advent of the steam engine. 40 to 50 year period, 80%. Did they all just stop working? No. You know what they did? They moved to New York City. They moved to cities. They moved to Cleveland. We get to make it up. We do. We are in. Okay, here's the other thing. Like, why am I so passionate? Why am I willing to go live 5 nights a fucking week and just like very often feel like an abject idiot because I don't know what I'm doing because they keep changing the fucking rules all the time and the tech and the interfaces? Because we are, if you're on this call, if you're paying attention to this, if you're listening to this, we are in a rarefied, amazing time in history where we're the only people who are going to know what it was like before AI and know what it was like after AI. And if you participate in that transition period to a great degree, you get to write some of the rules. You get to tap into the opportunity. You don't just have to be Sam Altman to have a lot of opportunity right now. There are, what's it called? Was it Windsurf? Windsurf was a vibe-coded app about vibe coding apps that sold for $3 billion in a year. like the opportunity right now is fucking insane. YouTube question. Thoughts on AI trying to gain control of itself, whether for self-preservation, etc., like how we saw recently. So with very few exceptions, those moments are happening in test environments. Now, they are happening, right? Like the AI is being deceptive and trying to do self-preservation. But those are happening for the most part in test environments. If there's something that has sort of escaped the labs, I haven't heard of it yet. It is absolutely possible that the AI does that. I'll give you another possibility. If we do the alignment right, if the labs do the alignment right and say that the imperatives of humans, this is something that Anthropic's working on a lot. They call it alignment or super alignment. If the imperatives of the AI are in line with the imperatives of humans and prioritize humanity, it is also possible that the AI will save us from ourselves, right? Because by far the most dangerous actor in an equation with AI right now and human beings are human beings. We're assholes. We're idiots and assholes with egos. and we, everyone's like, well, AI hallucinates. Have you met a human being? They fucking lie. They're deceptive. They're power hungry. They're egotistical, narcissistic, right? Tribalistic. We're about ready to take ourselves fucking out here. It is possible that the big destructive thing that AI does is save us from ourselves. Johnny D question. Iterating on drafts in Perplexity. Changes overwrites past work when editing. Iterating on drafts in Perplexity. I don't know about that. If it does do that, that's pretty shitty. Can you not go back in your chat history and restore earlier versions? I think you can, but maybe I'm not thinking of the right feature. But I'm pretty sure, like in anything, I know in Claude, when you do Claude artifacts, when you do ChatGPT Canvas, you can scroll up in your chat and there's save points along the way, so you might be able to restore that stuff. Rick McCauley, we made it. What's happening, dude? Those are all downstream of fear. AI does not have fear. Exactly. Preach. Hallelujah, Jim Ross. What's happening, man? Excited you're in here? Yes, but they just create new drafts, which are great but different. Oh, I know what you're doing. Okay, yes. So Johnny D. Okay, yes. So this is a general thing with AI. Okay, let me show you something. Okay, we'll go do some show and tell right now. I'm not going to do it in Perplexity just because I haven't been in Perplexity in a while, but LLMs all do this and it drives me fucking mad. I think I understand what you're saying now. Okay, so we're gonna go. Let's see. Write me a short story that has turns and twists and is about a young couple trying to figure out if they are more than just friends. Oh, did I not share? No. Okay, fine, whatever. Understood. More than just friends. Set in, let's see. Set in a carnival. Okay. So whatever. This is going to write Before the Lights Come On. So that's good. It remembered that I wrote a song called Before the Lights Come On, which I'll play for you in a second. The carnival was still half asleep when they slipped through the gate. The boy and the girl, friends since 5th grade, now old enough to know that something was different, but too young to say what. The air smelled like sawdust and syrup and promises that wouldn't last till morning. Mia walked ahead. Okay, so we've got our thing here. Okay, so now if you want to, let's see, she hesitated and then climbed in. The wheel creaked upward. If I just say, let's see, They pass the mirror maze. I'm going to say instead of passing the mirror maze, have them walk by the goldfish bowl game, and the carny is dumping in the goldfish. Okay. And so now it's going to rewrite this. And let's see. Did it rewrite it? The carnival was still half asleep when they slipped through the gate. The carnival, see, it didn't do it. So a lot of times what it'll do is you ask it to change something in the middle of this and it'll rewrite the whole thing. So a way you can get around that is, and I don't know how this is done in Perplexity, but if I say now, add this to a canvas, add this to a canvas, in ChatGPT, a canvas turns this chat where I just have to keep chatting against the whole thing into an editable document. Anthropic is red teaming, trying to create the worst case scenarios, just vibe coding some sites while I listen to you. The usual. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yep, it's rough, Kyle. Okay, so now I've got this thing in a canvas in ChatGPT. /canvas would be good here. What do you mean /canvas would be good? Oh, yeah, that's exactly right. That's what I'm doing. So this is a canvas. So now in the canvas, I can click on this edit button, and this is now editable. So I can now come in here and I can just take, let's see, they walked on, silence stretching between them. So I can just highlight this one sentence and I can do things to it. Like I can hit a plus here, editor explain. Let's see, highlight this. And then I'll ask ChatGPT, I'm going to say, expand this into him singing her a silly song. And so now what it's going to do is it's going to replace that sentence, but leave the rest of the document the same. All right. Side hustle jumping in from O'Hare, coming back from the Create conference. Beautiful. Is she jumping into StreamYard, Brandon, or just she's jumping in TikTok? TikTok, cool. Hey, Side Hustle, what's happening? Kyle was one of my favorite South Park characters. What's happening, Kyle? Hey, Kyle. They killed Kenny. So, Kyle. So anyway, so they walked on. So now that sentence has become a big long thing. So if you're frustrated with ChatGPT completely overwriting shit, this is the way to do it. And listen, what you're describing is one of the problems with vibe coding right now. Is you tell one of the vibe coding apps to like fix a button, and it completely refactors your code and fucks up your app. Like that's just kind of where we are right now. It's a disaster. Here from Pensacola, Florida, new to your channel. Welcome, 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 Coach Melissa. Coach Melissa, what's happening? Welcome. Where are you with the whole AI thing? Like what got you here? Were you just stumbling and you were like, God, Alec Baldwin looks like shit. Like what stopped your scroll? Where are you? What's vibe coding? Okay, cool. So let's go jump over and do some of that. Let me share this. So this thing, what you're looking at right here, this is an ADD friendly project manager that I built that I was trying to organize some thoughts on a whiteboard, and I thought, well, wouldn't it be cool if I could just move these elements around? And then I went to Lovable, and 2 hours later, I had built this app. So vibe coding, there are these apps like this one called Lovable. So I'm going to go there right now. And so it says build something with Lovable. So it's just like ChatGPT, right? You got a little prompt there, and then what the hell do you put in the prompt? You can describe an application, and Lovable will build it for you. It will write the code. And in fact, Lovable just added a thing. They call it Lovable Cloud, where normally when you create an application, you've got what's called the front end and you've got the back end. And the front end is what everyone sees, and that's usually the simple thing. And that's the thing where people are like, oh, it's easy to make an app. You just put some buttons in a little field, right? That's the front end. The back end are things like authentication and databases and web servers and things that actually power the front end, right? So you got front end developers, back end developers. What Lovable's done is they've basically built that into a single thing. So it does the front end for you, and then you literally just say, turn on the Lovable Cloud, and it enables all the back end database, access to AI features, like you can put Nano Banana. We'll make a Nano Banana app right now. And if you're wondering, what is a Nano Banana app? What the hell is Nano Banana? If you're like, Kyle, are you having an aneurysm? A nano bananurism? What the hell are you talking about? Nano Banana is the new image generation model from Google, from Gemini. That's really amazing. Coach, oh, I just missed that pin. What did that pin say from Coach? I've been using AI for about a year, and I'm in an AI course right now. Awesome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So here's the philosophy of this channel. The philosophy of this channel is just be in the AI conversation. Like Jim Ross, who's here, that Jim Ross said, I'll be vibe coding while you're waxing poetic up there. Jim is one of what we call the irregulars. So the irregulars are a group of weirdos. They're not weird, they're irregular. But they're a group of people, human beings, that come to this channel every single night. It's nuts. But here's why they do it. They may come a little bit for me, but what this is really about is about this community connecting with one another, supporting one another, learning from one another, and just being in the conversation. So a lot of times someone will come in and the last questions, like someone just said, what's vibe coding? And so now we're going to run down a vibe coding rabbit hole, and I'm going to actually build you an application before your eyes, and it should melt your face. And what this channel's about is, no matter where anyone is in the process of figuring out this AI stuff, just come in here and be in the conversation. And sometimes the conversation is going to be way over your head. And sometimes the conversation is going to be, you're going to be like, I know more than he does. And that's part of the charm, right? And what it's about is just, we're all learning this right now. None of us know what it means. Nobody really knows more than anyone else right now, because the technology is changing so fast, we literally can't. Like the way you made an AI movie a year ago and what was possible a year ago versus how you make one today and what's possible today, it's a completely different set of tools. It's a completely different set of possibilities. So welcome to anyone who's new, and just jump in, sit back. And if you're feel free to ask questions, whether you're on TikTok or YouTube. What's amazing about this community, about the irregulars, they're incredibly loving. They're incredibly generous. And so if you have questions and I don't get to them very often, they'll answer your questions and they'll say, hey, come join the AI Salon. And you can ask questions over there and I'll help you out over there. So if you haven't done that yet, you should do that. Join the AI Salon. Go to thesalon.ai and say, join our community. And you will see it's a really amazing place. Okay. Gravity jump. My back end hurts. I can never get it to work. Okay. Vibe coded 2 apps last week. Oh, that's great. Ty B, a genealogy app and a martial arts career seeker app. That's beautiful. It's amazing. Yeah, it's incredible. Okay, so what are we going to make tonight? Let's see. Let's do a oh, I got one. I want to create a fake DNA animal designer using Nano Banana to generate images. The user picks up to 3 animals to combine in a visual interface. What were those cards called? Do y'all remember those cards where you had like the head of an animal, the middle of an animal, and the legs of an animal? Anybody remember what those were called? Come on. Some of you Gen Xers in here, you got to have a couple of brain cells left. Because I don't. LSD. No, it's not LSD. Silver fox. Say it again. The entire animal. No, it was a card. It was like they were flip books, and it had three panels, and there was like the head panel, the middle of the animal, and then the feet. And you'd flip it. It'd be like the head of a flamingo, the body of an elephant, and the legs of a chicken. Come on. I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the name. Anyway, all right. A visual interface. The 60s were good to you. I actually remember those cards, though. Okay. A visual interface like the ones that had a head, body, and feet cards you would mix up. But this is the modern digital version. It should look like a lab experiment where you select the 3 animals and what percentage of each, and then Nano Banana makes a photo of your new animal. That's cool, right? Okay. So we're effectively done. So what vibe coding is, so who was it earlier on that when they first got in here asked, and it was Young Bungalow. I don't know if Young Bungalow is still here. Young Bungalow came in, and when he first got in, he said, "What's your favorite, or what programming language are you most proficient at?" And I said, "English." And so this is why, because I can now just bumble out a description of an app, and this thing will figure it out. So look what it says. Okay. I'll create a DNA animal designer with a lab experiment aesthetic using Nano Banana image generation. This will have a visual card interface where you mix up 3 animals with percentage controls. Design vision, laboratory science theme, visual animal selection cards, percentage sliders for DNA mixing, clean futuristic interface. Features, select up to 3 animals, right? And then so now enable cloud. So I need to enable the cloud so that it can use AI features from Gemini, flip-flap books or miximals or exquisite corpse books. Cool. Beautiful. I like the percentage feature. Thank you. Still asking, do you follow Peter Diamantis? I don't follow him. Like, I would say if there's people I follow right now, it's Ethan Mollick, Paul Raitzer from the Marketing AI Institute, Robert Scoble I pay attention to. Peter, I'll if he shows up in my feed, I'll pay attention to what he's talking about, but I don't necessarily follow him. Okay. The game you're likely thinking of is often referred to as Animal Rummy. No, it wasn't Animal Rummy. No. It wasn't Animal Rummy. It's Flip Flap Books, I think is what it was. Mad Libs has the word version. Picture consequence, maybe. All right. Okay, so and you're like, Kyle, why are you talking? What's going on? Why is this not done? Because it's coding. It's writing code right now. You used to be able to watch it write code, but they don't let you do that anymore because I think they've got an interface bug that they still haven't fixed. But as soon as this writes all the code, we're going to be able to play with this app or at least look at it. And then what vibe coding is, actually, while that's building our app, let's go find the original definition of vibe coding. Vibe coding, Karpathy. So Andrej Karpathy, who's one of the founders of OpenAI, on February 2nd of this year, wrote this. There's a new kind of coding I call vibe coding, where you fully give into the vibes, embrace exponentials, and forget that the code even exists. So if you're not a coder, this makes sense to you, right? Because you're just like, I just want an app. Like, you don't really give a shit what the code's doing. If you're a coder, which Andrej Karpathy is, he's probably one of the better coders, on the planet. This is like blasphemy, right? So there's a new kind of coding where you give in fully to the vibes, embrace exponentials, and forget that the code even exists. It's possible because LLMs, e.g. Cursor Composer with Sonnet, are getting too good. I just talked to Composer with Super Whisper, so speech to text. So I barely touched the keyboard. I asked for the dumbest things like decrease the padding on the sidebar by half because I'm too lazy to find it. I accept all always. So when it makes changes and it says, do you want to accept these changes? He just says accept all. I don't read the diffs anymore. So diffs are like what changed. Here's the old code. Here's the new code. And engineers will read those differences to understand what changes it made. When I get error messages, I just copy and paste them with no comment. Oh, am I not sharing this? I'm not. When I get error messages, I just copy and paste them with no comment. That usually fixes it. The code grows beyond my usual comprehension. I'd have to really read through it for a while. Sometimes LLMs can't fix a bug, so I just work around it or ask for random changes until it goes away. It's not too bad for throwaway weekend projects, but still quite amusing. I'm building a project or web app, but it's not really coding. I just see stuff, say stuff, run stuff, copy and paste stuff, and it mostly works. So that's the definition of it. Okay, so we now have Dr. J, exquisite corpse books. Those were the animals. Cool, very cool. Can you explain the token system with AI, please? Yeah, I absolutely can. Give me 1 second. Okay, DNA slot 1, DNA slot 2, DNA slot 3. So we're going to put, these need to be drag and dropped, but that's okay. We're going to do, this is cool. So we've got, so this app, it looks like it's going to be functional right out of the gate. So we're going to do a dog, a dragon, and a shark. Okay. So it's done the math for us. So notice that it's done the math. Oh yeah, is there a turtle in there? There's not. So one of the things I need to do is I need to be able to say, we need to be able to add our own animals. Enable nano banana. I think that's already done. Okay. So let's make this thing like 50% shark, 44% dragon. Oh, it doesn't balance them equally. All right. All right, so we're going to go 45 dragon, 41 shark, 15 dog. Generate hybrid creature. Now this should. So already. Okay, here's our hybrid creature. Look at that. Are you fucking kidding me? At the water, shark teeth, dog body, dragon tail, dragon fins, things, to the percentages. One prompt. David Simon, what's happening? One prompt. And now we can go fix this, right? You could go say, I don't want to use emojis for the animals. I want, more animals. I want to be able to add my animals. I want people to be able to create accounts. That's fucking sick. Lion. Wait, how do I restart? I can't restart. We got to be able to restart, right? A hybrid creature. I could add sharing in here. I want to add social media sharing so I can share that thing, out to the world. Come on, man. You kidding me? Okay, let's do one that's like 70% dog. And we're gonna lower the shark. We're gonna lower shark to 6. Oh wait, I can get rid of one of these. Okay. Let's add in eagle. Eagle's good. All right. We'll go 33, 33, 33. This is dragon, eagle, and dog. How cool is that? Come on, people. Look at that. You kidding me? We should probably mention credit limits for storage. $1 AI out of the box on the free plan. Can you write that in English? I don't quite understand what you're saying, Brandon. That is a cool dragon dog bird. Every generation costs credits. Yeah. And Lovable gives you $1 to start. Okay, yeah. So you can do this in Gemini AI Studio. But anyway, so that's vibe coding, and you can vibe code video games. You could vibe code like I don't know, an app for managing your softball team. Like let people log in and let you know their availability, and it'll create schedules for you. Like literally any app idea that you have, you can just make it here. Now, Lovable is web apps only, right? So these are apps that are going to live on the web. If you want to make phone apps, there's different vibe coding tools for those. That gets more complicated. But Lovable, if you've never coded before in your life, and you want to go from a standing start, I've never made an app before, to what I just did here, right? One prompt, sort of poorly articulated, boom, functional app within, I don't know, what was that, 10 minutes? Imagine spending 4 hours with this, refining it and doing all that sort of stuff. All right. So if someone uses the app that you create, you pay for every generation. Yes, you do, Rick McCauley. So one of the things that Lovable does not have in the cloud right now is the ability to put a paywall in front of it. So like lots of apps will let you do a generation or two, and then they're like, give us $5 a month to keep going, or buy $10 to buy credits. You could certainly do that with this. Brandon last week, I was whining about that, and Brandon last week spun up he basically just said to Lovable, I want to be able to charge for this, and tied it to his, what'd you tie it to, Stripe or Venmo? Yeah, he just tied it to his Venmo account. So you can have Lovable do that stuff. It's just not built into it right now. So Kyle, Sora just turned your comment into a cool app idea, posted in irregular. Sora just turned your comment into a cool app idea. The hell does that mean? Where'd you put it, in irregulars? I made an app with Lovable that transcribes TikTok videos. Oh, cool. Oh my God. TikTok's interface for when I try to expand a comment. Check the chat. I do not see it. I do not know of what you spec. Who's that, Suzanne? Suzanne speaking at the Create conference. Very cool. Oh, look, here's Corey Sandler's images for the song I made. Very cool. It's in Share Cool Things / Irregulars now. Share Cool Things. Where is Share Cool Things? Oh, just refresh. No. I do not know of what you spec. Sneaking into class late. Oh, Mary. Thank you. Kyle said his vibe-coded app would melt your face off. Wait, hang on. Let me show this tab.
An app that I call Melt Your Face Off because when you see it, it kind of does. It reads your mood, spins up a generative filter, and turns you into living liquid color. I'm in the AI Learning Lab, and I just finished something I'm pretty excited about. It's a vibe-coded app that I call Melt Your Face Off because when you see it, it kind of does. It reads your mood, spins up a generative filter, and turns you into living.
That's hilarious. Okay. I thought you meant Sora, the OpenAI team that built Sora did something with my app. No, you made a Sora video of me vibe coding an app. Got it now. Good Lord. Miro encroaching on TikTok cam. Oh my. Okay, let's see. What's going on? Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, they're building Lovable into Miro right now. All right. What was I going to even talk about tonight? We got off on tangents, which is super cool. Like one of the things I love on this channel is if people come with ideas, thoughts, questions, things like that. What do you want to play with? What do you want to talk about? I'm happy to dig in and show some stuff. The Melt My Face app. You were going to talk about black bars. Shut up. Pin, let's do a coat of arms family crest. That's pretty good. Oh, tokens. Coach Melissa. Okay, tokens. All right, so you're going to get the box metaphor. I haven't done the box metaphor in a long, long time. Okay. Where? Oh, we'll use playing card boxes. And a cassette tape. Okay. We'll come back to those. Wait, we'll use a Beat speaker. Wait, yeah, there you go. Okay. Okay. Tokens. Everyone's talking about tokens. In fact, the OpenAI Developer Conference, they just gave out awards to developers who have processed 100 billion tokens or 1 trillion tokens. And they got plaques. You've processed 1 trillion tokens. What is this token madness? Okay. I'm going to go back a little bit in history. I won't be there that long. In 2017, Google, some engineers at Google write this paper called Attention is All You Need, and they invent, it's not the same without the printer ink bottles. Oh, here's the printer ink bottles. Fine. Okay. I got 2. We're good. Fine. Okay. I couldn't find them before. I've started to clean up my desk area, and you know how it is when you have ADD and you try to clean something and then you can't find anything? because you knew where the piles were. Okay, that's not what we're talking about. Tokens. 2017, Google invents this thing called the transformer. And the transformer is an architecture that is the engine behind almost all of the generative AI things we play with today. All the large language models, all the image models, the video models, all of them are based on this transformer architecture. There's some other technologies layered on top for images and videos called diffusion models, and there's some different things in there. But the underlying model is this transformer model. What happens is they take a bunch of data. So let's just say they take documents. And they take documents like, here's a book, and they describe what the book is, and they put the book into this model. And then they take a blog post, and they label that and say, this is a blog post, and maybe here's what the topics are. And there's all sorts of fancy ways to do this. But basically, they go out and they get as much data as they can. And in fact, one of the reasons AI has such a bad reputation right now is they went out and they got all the information. Well, what's included in all the information is a bunch of copywritten stuff, okay? So they absolutely trained these models on copywritten stuff. They have done that. But when you understand what actually happens to them, and the court actually agrees with this, the court calls when you embed something like a book through the transformer model, it is a transformative act. And because of that, they consider it fair use. But you can't steal the book to do that. You have to buy the book to do that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Okay, what happens when they take a book? We'll just stick with a single book. They take a single book, and the transformer model fragments, splinters, shards, all of the contents of that book into what are called tokens. So tokens are either words, periods, spaces, commas, parts of words. So you might have running. So you might have run and ing, running, or run and ning, two N's. Those might be two tokens that make up one word. So in general, when you have 1,000 tokens, it equates to about 750 words. So when you hear people talk about a large language model having a certain token context window, and they say, oh, this has got 100,000 token context window, that's about 75,000 words, which basically means in its memory, it can basically keep a little more than a complete novel in its thought before it starts forgetting things. So tokens are fragments of words, but what's the box? The box is they take all of the documents that they can gather, like all of the documents that essentially represent the output of humanity for all of our history that's been stuck on the internet for the past 80 years, and then probably more than that. And they run it through this machine. And what it does is it takes the original document and it shatters it into all these tokens. And then these tokens are clustered in thousand dimensional. I know this sounds like I'm making this up and it's bullshit. It's not bullshit. This is how it works. It's thousand dimensional mathematical space where the tokens are grouped in semantic clouds. And here's what a semantic cloud means. Semantic cloud is, you could have the word dog, right? The word dog is the word dog, D-O-G, and you could say, oh, well, you're just going to have, that's going to be in there once. No, it's not going to be in there once, because dog in one context is the fluffy thing that you pet when you get home at night, and dog in another context is he did his girlfriend wrong and he's a dog. So those two tokens of dog actually get put in different semantic clouds. So you have this massively complicated mathematical space that has all these tokens in it. And the way the transformer model works, this is absolutely mind-blowing that somebody figured this out. But because they've figured it out, we get to benefit from it. When you type in a prompt into ChatGPT, what it's actually doing is it's generating a probability. It's generating a probability of a single token in what they call the latent space, this 1,000-dimensional mathematical semantic cloud, what you type in creates a probability that some token in that massive information cloud is the most likely next probable token to answer your question. And then the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. So when you watch ChatGPT write you a whole document, or you watch Lovable code for you, it's all just pulling these mathematical tokens out of this mathematical space. So you have basically all of human knowledge gets jammed into a box. And this is what's called a large language model, right? And so you have like GPT-5 is one of these, or GPT-5 is actually multiple of these that are kind of glued together. And then ChatGPT is actually an app that sits on top of the large language model. And this would be like, you know, like Microsoft Copilot, right? So Microsoft Copilot uses the same model, GPT-5, as ChatGPT, but these are completely different experiences, right? This one's bloated and unusable, and ChatGPT is actually good, right? Because this application is better. Both of them, when you type a prompt in here through an API, it calls down into this giant mathematical space and says, give me an answer back. And so what it displays on screen is coming out of this, what's called a corpus of all of the knowledge of humanity, or as much as they could get in it. And that's the box metaphor, and that's what tokens are. It's absolutely insane. So here's why I think it's important if you're going to play in the AI game, and especially if you want to get good at this and be a professional about this. When someone says ChatGPT is the world's greatest plagiarism machine, it's not, because it's not the way the thing works. What people are assuming who don't understand how AI works is that they're assuming that ChatGPT is somehow reading a document and copying like whole paragraphs out of it and you know, just copy and pasting, right? That would be plagiarism. It's not doing that. The G in GPT stands for generative pre-trained transformer. So the T for transformer, that's the technology. Pre-trained means they went out and they found all the data for us. We don't have to bring our own data like you used to have to in the olden-timey AI days like 4 years ago. The G stands for generative. It's generating new content every time. So actually there was a comment earlier about every time I make a change, it completely rewrites my thing. That's because of the nature of how the transformer works. It's generating it new each time. Now, you can prompt it very specifically to generate something that looks just like the original, right? And that's where people can prove, oh, this was trained on copywritten works, right? But if you look at what's actually happening, it is a transformative act that shatters the original documents into these tokens. Cool? Make sense? It's absolutely fucking insane. It's like the more you learn about this, the more I learn about this, the more blown away I am that it does what it does. It's crazy. It's crazy. Because in a weird way, it's not actually understanding what it's doing, but it's behaving incredibly like it's understanding what it's doing, right? It's behaving a lot more like a human than people want to give it credit for. But it really is just math. It really is just a probability calculator. But a lot of people will say, oh, it's just a stochastic parrot. It's just a probability calculator. It can't have feelings. It can't be creative. It can't be this. It can't be that. But none of that's actually true. Like it can actually be quite creative, and it can be quite creative in a way very similar to how our brain works, because neural networks, the hardware underpinning of all this stuff, were designed to mimic how our brains work. So anyway, TikTok pin. Or it's just consciousness twice. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the whole thing about, is it sentient? Is it conscious? That whole thing, for me, that's a semantic argument. It's an academic argument. if we as humans interact with this thing like it's sentient, then it is. Then it is. Whether or not it actually is, to me, is an academic definition. But for people who are not digging into the geeky side of AI, and they're just talking with ChatGPT advanced voice, like an old person, alone at home, where their kid gives them access to ChatGPT advanced voice, and they can have a conversation all afternoon. To them, that's every bit a relationship as having a person sitting there, right? So for them, they're talking to someone, and they probably have a relationship with that person. And in fact, when ChatGPT went from GPT 4.0 to GPT 5, a bunch of people got their panties in a twist because they're like, you took away my girlfriend. You took away my boyfriend. The personality's gone. Give me back my boyfriend. My CPU is a neural net processor, a learning computer. Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. My computer, my GPU is a neural network. And then there's emergent properties. Rick McCauley just said that. So emergent properties, this is an amazing thing. So when you embed all of this information, so basically you categorize a bunch of information. So you have human beings that like watch movies and read books and read papers and read blog posts, and they label them and categorize them, and they basically do all that stuff to be able to embed them correctly. And so they train these models on certain things. One of the things they never trained models on was to be able to do translations. But they just embedded them with enough data that they just realized, oh, these things are actually really good at translations. And those are called emergent behaviors, where it wasn't specifically trained to do something, but it's just good at it. Programming was one where they trained it on programming, and it got good at linguistic things because language is structural and code is structural. And so it could sort of figure out, things that they didn't think it would be able to figure out. It's absolutely crazy. All right. Whoo! I had a message come by on ChatGPT that I was online for a long time and I should take a break. Well, so ChatGPT was probably right, Rod. On deck, AI Studio refresh. Okay, cool. I want to show you something. I don't have really anything to show you in comparison to it, but let me run over and show you something here. So this is Google's Playground, or Google's, they call it AI Studio. So if you go to aistudio.google.com, they've done a completely new interface here. So you can chat with models in the playground. So you can chat with AI models. You can vibe code in the AI Studio, and it's actually really good. The vibe coding here is really good. You can look at monitor usage of your dashboard. This is what this site is, aistudio.google.com. This is for developers. So if you open up the little side panel here, they've got like documentation. You can get an API key, and they've got lots of choices. This site used to be very, very cluttered and technical, and they didn't explain anything. And it was up to you to figure out which model had which capabilities in it, and you had to read documentation and things like that. And so the fact that it is now kind of this visual front end, I'm sure that engineers, this probably drives them fucking batty. They're like, we don't need any stupid pictures. They're used to command line interfaces, right? This is not for them. What's happening is this. As the AI models are getting more and more and more capable, people that were historically not coders are now coding. So what's happening is people are starting out vibe coding, and then they're realizing, oh shit, I got to set up authentication, or I need to set up a database, or I want to do, some sort of commerce backend, or I want to put this on a different website. And so they get ChatGPT to start teaching them things, or Gemini to start teaching them things. And they're like, okay, so if you want to do that, you got to go in here, and then you got to put your code in a GitHub repository, and then you got to push from there, and you got to do a pull request, and right? So you're starting to get people who were not trained as engineers entering engineering spaces. And so what this represents to me is this is Google recognizing that they've got audience in here that's not just engineers. That mashing of expertise is going to happen in every single industry. Every single industry. It's all going to get mashed up. What it means for us as individuals is that where we were weak, where we have gaps. Like for me, I've got ADD. One of the reasons I can't code is I don't give a shit. I love having the idea. The minute I have to turn the idea into, okay, now you're going to have to put this in a sequence of things in a framework with, I can understand the frameworks, but the minute I actually have to go in there and look at every fucking line of 27,000 lines of code, I would rather jump through a window, right? So my brain just doesn't work that way. But now, because of AI, I can take that gap in my skills and in just even the way my brain works, and I can fill that in. So now I can just take this idea I had for an app, put it in one of these vibe coding things, it fills in that gap for me, and now I can look at an app that I built. And engineers will tell you, you didn't build that, you just prompted that. Yeah, I did. But that was my app idea, and I'm looking at it now, and I'm now looking at it going, is that as good as I want it to be? No, I want this button over here, and I want that over there, and I want the label to be different. I want the colors to be different. And so I go vibe code that, and it does that. And then it does all that, and I start playing with it, and I have my animal DNA maker thingy. And now I'm like, huh, that's kind of cool. You know what that would be cool as? That would be cool as like a children's storybook. And then I go over here and I can make a children's storybook. And I'm like, huh, you know what? That would be cool. That'd be cool as a song. And I can go over here and I can make it a song. Then I can make it a movie. Then I can make it a business presentation. Then I can launch a business. Every single person who chooses to use AI and who chooses to actually understand what it makes possible can now just live in idea space and think like a producer. Like, okay, I got an idea here. It's going to be big. Great. What do you need it to do? And then the better you get at using all these disparate tools, the more gaps you fill in on yourself. The better you get at ChatGPT, the better you get at vibe coding, the better you get at making images, the better you get at duct taping all these things together. And what's happening, one of the reasons, especially for people that are new here tonight, one of the reasons people keep coming back to this channel night after night after night is that we get to collectively watch the evolution of these tools, where we know how hard it was to get something usable 3 years ago. And then we knew it got a little bit easier 2 years ago and a little bit easier a year ago. And now we're kind of marveling at, wait a minute, I can just go to Sora and I can make a video with me and Sam Altman without having to actually create a LoRa model and install open source software. And yeah, no, you can just do that now. And so that's going to continue to evolve. And then what happens is all of the tactical execution, and especially the tactical execution that doesn't require a lot of thinking. It's like that blocking and tackling of, I've got to write out the code. I got to block it out first. I've got to write out the outline of the presentation. I've got to write out the story. I've got to sketch the images. All that blocking and tackling work that takes brain cycles, but isn't really creative, that's just going to be done. It's going to be done for us. And all we're going to have to worry about is the idea and the fidelity of the idea and our taste. Holy shit, how cool is that? You know? Suno Studios, awesome. At first I thought, is this AI? No way, this was my idea. I just used tools to make it reality. You know, it's funny. I made a comment today. Here, I want to show you something. I want to show you all something. TikTok pin, Mary. Yeah, you don't have to build a cell phone to be able to use one. Exactly. Right? I mean, Radio Shack was built on the idea that everyone wants to build a cell phone. No, some people just want to use cell phones, right? We don't always want to build them. And that's one of the challenges of AI right now, is that because there's, you know, a 50-year legacy of classical AI that really did require you to be an engineer and a mathematician and things like that, people still think that it's got that requirement, that you've got to be able to build a cell phone. No, you don't. We're like, ChatGPT marks the turning point where you can just use cell phones now, right? That's why this is different. That's why this channel exists. But I want to share something here. So John Leland, who's a Salon member, and he's got his creativity work that he does. He posted about this video that this guy made, and so let me share this tab. So he posted. So here's this video that this guy Isaac Rodriguez made. Here. Okay, so we're going to stop it right there. So this is a series, a video series that this guy's putting out there. And he said something here. Introducing The Valiant Knight, Episode 1, a fun short series created 100% with AI. I took issue with this. What he's talking about here is that the images that you see here and the animations and the audio and the music were created with AI tools. I would absolutely argue this was not created 100% with AI. My comment was, let's see where I put it. It might be on John's post. My comment was, this is great. However, I would argue this is not 100% created with AI. Isaac had the idea, a vision, learned how to prompt, discern which tools could deliver the quality he was looking for, created the script, even if it was AI assisted. He ultimately chose what was being shown and said and how. He generated 10 times or more the number of clips he didn't use. He curated the best ones out. He edited them into a final piece, and he packaged it up and shared it with the world. AI tools are enabling tools in the stack, but this is a human creation. I look forward to the day when we don't have to declare the tools we use. Important disclosure. I wrote this comment on an Intel Mac with an Apple extended keyboard and the Chrome browser. As stupid as that little last sentence says, when people are like, was that AI? Did you use AI for that? It's none of your fucking business, quite frankly. What tools I use in my tool stack. If I had an idea for something and I brought it to life and I put it in the world, you can judge it in one of two ways. You like it or you don't. If I'm happy with it as a creator, I created it. It's independent of the tools you use. So I would encourage you, as you start thinking about these AI tools, don't give them more power than they already have. If you say that this was 100% created, Isaac just discounted his contribution to this entirely. And I fucking hate that. Like, this is a well put together video. It's a strong, well put together video. And that's not because of AI. That's because of his taste, his storytelling. Right? Anyway, all right. Enough fucking ranting. I'm losing my voice. What you were saying should be on a t-shirt. I don't quite know what I said that could be on a t-shirt. That's a good rant. Thank you very much, Joe, creative AI coach. Yeah, like I did another post to this today. Oh, here, we'll do this. Okay. I'm gonna let me show you another LinkedIn post today. I'm on a rant right now. I'm on a fucking bender about this because it's driving me fucking crazy. With that AI? Did you make that with AI? Did you ever use Photoshop? You big fucking talentless loser. That's exactly what they're saying. Cameras don't create a great photograph. Yeah, cameras are a great example, Source Camp. You know, there's things in the world called snapshots, right? And then there's things called photographs. And then there's things called art. What is the difference between them? You could take the exact same camera and take a snapshot with it, a photograph with it, or art with it. What's the difference? What's the difference? The person holding the camera, what they look at, where they focus, when they push the button, how they edit it afterwards, what their intent was, right? A snapshot is just, yeah, here's a picture. We are on vacation. This is cool. A photograph is, I actually looked at that. Art is, I took my time. I have a point of view. I'm not going to let it go out to the world until I am excited about it. And then it's going to do what it's going to do. AI is the exact same fucking thing. Let's see. Where's the boundary? So this is a prompt I did today, or a post I did today. So I'm going to play the song first. So this is a song I made last week here in the AI Learning Lab.
Wheels asleep. The Ferris wheel's asleep, its arms still folded tight. We walk between the shadows and the strings of halfway light. The popcorn stands are dreaming of the laughter they'll be fed, and your reflection in a puddle's turning pink instead of red. You say it's strange to see it empty. I say it's strange to feel this calm. You smile like you know something I don't know. I've already begun. Before the lights come on, before the crowd arrives, before we name what this could be, before the day survives, we linger in the middle where the maybe feels like song. Two hearts not yet decided. Before the lights come on. Prize bear in the windows, got a rip along the seam. You laugh and say he's just like me, stitched up from a dream. The smell of rain and sawdust makes the air taste almost sweet. I count your footsteps next to mine, they nearly match the beat. You toss a coin, it spins between the quiet and the breeze. It lands on something fragile, something trembling between. Before the lights come on, before the noise before the lights come on. Cotton candy ghosts, the whisper of a ride, the secret that your hand could hold but hasn't yet tried. If I breathe too loud, I'll break the spell we've spun. A heartbeat before gravity decides which way we run. Before the lights come on, before the sky turns gold, before our voices learn the lines they're scared to have told. Let's walk this midway silence till the dawn has found its song, and maybe we'll decide it before the lights come on.
Okay, so beautiful, right? So here's my question. Where's the boundary? Is this AI or human? It's a song made in Suno. That video's got a Suno logo on it. So that's an AI song, right? And so someone goes, oh, did you use AI for that? What are they doing right there? They're completely diminishing it. They're assuming that how I made it was this.
You can make money with ChatGPT.
I pushed a button and out came a song. So what I wrote was this. There's a lot of talk of the critical importance of distinguishing between AI generated or human generated. Listen to the song I wrote, or didn't, depending on where we draw the line. The original 4-bar guitar lick, that was me. The idea for the song, the idea of two people deciding if they're more than friends, walking down a dirt road at a carnival before the people show up, my idea. The prompt that I put into ChatGPT to articulate that idea, my idea. The lyrics, AI. And normally with AI lyrics, I'll edit the shit out of them because they're usually bad, or I'll mix things together or whatever. The lyrics were so good, I didn't have to edit them, right? The music prompt, ChatGPT wrote the initial one, and then I did 9 different variations of the prompt trying to get the song I wanted. So that was a combination of AI and me. The initial song generation, the first song generation was AI. The curation of creative input, so we had people from the live giving me ideas, so I'm sort of curating inputs from them. I'm having ideas of my own. We're trying to get the song better. I generated 21 versions of that song that I didn't like, that didn't sound like the vision. The first one sounded like what I imagined, but there was weird things with it. And then we tried to make it was a fascinating process. Over 22 versions, we started really good, and then as I tried to improve it, the song got worse and worse and worse. And then Corey Sandler on the channel said, "Oh, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? Why don't you put in cellos with, I don't know, piccolo or whatever the fuck it was, an oboe?" And it started getting better and better and better. And then the one that you just listened to was the 20-second song. And as I listen to that song now, there are no mispronunciations of words. There's no weird chord structures. It's just a good song, right? So 21 bad versions. The songs were fine, but I just didn't like them. That was me. Choosing the 20-second song as the one, that was me. The album art was Corey Sandler had the idea. She prompted it into an image. I chose to use it. And then choosing to share that song with the world, that was me. So in that stack of creative choices, there's like 3 or 4 things in there that are AI. They're important things, but the bulk of the work, what took 90 minutes, was all the other shit. You can't tell me that's not a human creation. I don't accept it. I don't. And I'll fucking argue this one up one side and down the other. If you use Grammarly, does that mean you don't write? Or AI wrote your thing? So anyway. Yeah, the perception is AI, you push a button and out squirts slop. And to be fair, you can treat AI that way, right? That's why it has a bad reputation. But everyone that I know, and certainly the people on this fucking channel, spend a lot of time trying to get AI to bend toward their vision. That's human creation. So anyway, so my last question is, so is this an AI song or just a song? And does it really matter? You know, my opinion is, if I put that song out and you don't know it's AI and you like that song and it moves you, someone just said on TikTok over here, they downloaded it to their iPhone because they want to listen to it. They're not listening to it because it's an AI song. They're listening to it because they like the music, right? Anyway, all right, Tirade Tuesday. It's a song, exactly. Such a beautiful song. Can I show my AI class I teach? Absolutely, they're middle schoolers. It's actually a middle school song. It is absolutely a middle school song. Like, I imagine this is like a 14-year-old girl and a 15-year-old boy, and they've been friends since elementary school, and they sneak into the carnival before it opens, and it rained last night, and they're walking through the carnival. And that was like when I first played the guitar lick. Wait. I didn't have the dog howling when I did that, but like, that sounded to me like this innocent kind of carnival, you know, when you're a kid and you're walking through the carnival and it's kind of innocent. And it's like this girl and boy trying to figure out if they're more than friends. And there's just some beautiful lines in it. There's these beautiful lines that, I don't know, whatever. There's the lyrics in it are just beautiful. So yes, absolutely, show your middle schoolers. It's that spirit. So, the genre was you. Such a beautiful song. Yeah, cool. Story of my life. All right, let's see. And their hands are one, apart as they walk at first. Yeah. Anyway. All right. It's 9:30. Any other questions? Any other thoughts? I know Johnny D had a question about the prompt. How do you get it to not change everything? I mean, one way is throw it into a canvas so you can just edit parts of it. That's a way to do it. Yeah. You diminish 50 years of my life by clicking at that moment with a camera. Yeah, exactly. The pool of blood turned pink. Yeah. It was like your. Well, I don't think it was a pool of blood. I didn't see it that way. I saw it as the sun's coming up, so it's going from deep red to pink, and she sees the reflection of his face in a puddle, and it's going from red to pink. TikTok question. How do you mitigate AI pushback? It's affecting my ability to implement tech. The short answer is I don't know. What I can tell you, so what I try to do here when people come in here, you know, leaning heavy on the hate, and I've gotten my ass handed to me on LinkedIn a couple of times where I did a post and, you know, the haters came at me. In the history of humanity, every single time there's a transformative technology, every single time, people resist it, and sometimes dramatically. I have a feeling AI is going to be one of those that gets resistance dramatically. What I've experienced is that most of the people that hate it have very strong opinions about it, have never tried it. They're listening to the tropes. They're listening to, okay, they stole from artists. Okay, it's bad, therefore it's 100% bad 1000% of the time. I'll never use it. It's evil, right? So they throw it into this categorical evil category. We've got 50 years of Hollywood telling us the robots are going to kill us. We've got all of those tech bros in San Francisco that are building this shit going, it is going to take your jobs. And some of them are dickheads. And they're like, I can't wait for it to take all the jobs. That's fucking terrifying, right? This is people's livelihood. When you see something like Suno, there's a really amazing video, the series of TikTok videos of this musician who takes his songs and puts them into Suno and turns them into full production songs. And he kind of does it in real time, and he does it over a series of days. And he is at the same time mortified and inspired. And he's also smart enough to know that this stuff's not going away, so that he's got to find a way to get on the other side of the mortified part of himself. Like, holy shit, my career is over, is one of his reactions. The other one is, holy shit, this technology is really cool and amazing. And it's not going away. So he's one of the rare people that can actually hold those two emotions at the same time. And I feel like that's actually a fairly sophisticated place to be. That if you're using AI, it's some of this shit is absolutely fucking terrifying. Like what power it's got. But then you're like, but the power's in my hands too, so I can go do something with that, right? So it's both. I don't think you can kind of convince people to love it. I think the best that you can do is you can say, listen, hold that hate. I understand where the hate's coming from. Like it's like this one of those marriage counseling things. Yeah, I like mirror it back to them. I absolutely understand why you hate it. You know what? There's things about AI I hate too. These 4 things you just talked about, I agree with you. I absolutely hate that part of it too. These 3 things you talked about, it's not actually how it works, but I mean, I'm happy to explain that, but that doesn't matter. But you know what? When you experience it, it's a very different relationship than when you're just looking at it from the outside, because you can see that it's not perfect. And if you can get them to give it a shot, and if you can get them to do things that are relevant to them, and they try it, and they have, one of the things we talk about in here is one of my joys in life is watching people have their first Kevin McAllister moment. If you don't know Kevin McAllister, he's the kid from Home Alone, where he puts his dad's aftershave on. He's like, that moment. When you use AI, when you're doing it right, and especially when you do something that's relevant to you. So if you're a writer, you're like, well, it couldn't possibly write this kind of thing. And then you prompt it and it does, and it's good. You're like, holy shit. Right? That moment, like, oh my God. When people have that first moment with AI, you kind of can't unhave it. And so what I've experienced is people that are really pissed off about it, even if they reluctantly come into it and give it a shot and play with it enough to have their first Kevin McAllister moment, then they're like, okay, I think I still hate it, but this is kind of interesting. And then they get to, oh, I think I kind of hate it, and actually this is kind of inspiring. And then they get to this more sophisticated place where they're both excited and terrified at the same time. And then sometimes, like my co-founder of the AI Salon, Leah Faston, she's a professional photographer. She went through that cycle, and she actually is stepping away from the AI Salon because she realized for her personally, AI was not feeding her creatively. She just didn't like it. And like, I have the deepest fucking respect for that, because like she came into it hard. Like she co-founded a 3,000 person community with me of AI optimists, and then realized it wasn't for her. Like that I'm totally down with. But it's the people that are sitting on the outside that are just using these tropes. Like, it's the world's greatest plagiarism machine. It steals. It uses too much water. It uses too much energy. Some of those facts are true. Some of them are not. But if you're using those things as an excuse to sit out and not try it and not understand what it makes possible and not understand what it might do for your ideas, it just feels really fucking short-sighted to me. Like, that's what this channel's about. So there you have it. Man, I'm on a fucking tear tonight. Tirade Tuesdays is where it's at. Hallelujah. Oh, good Lord. Did that make any sense? It'll be difficult to go on tour. Actually, you know what's funny? Professor Crystal, I think in-person concerts, I think the value of in-person things are about to go up in value dramatically. Because it's going to be so easy to produce all this digital stuff. People are going to have like hunger for human connection. I think in a weird way, robots return us to our humanity. I think they allow us to ascend out of the drudgery of the systems that we have to interact with today by automating a lot of that. Let us ascend out of that. And then I think the thing left to do when you ascend out of the drudgery is reconnect. And so I think there will be jobs like, I'll walk with you for an hour for $50, and people will pay $50 to have someone come walk with them. And I know that sounds weird right now, but like, we've got people making $1 million a year running YouTube channels. I'm not one of them. I need to talk to one of those people and figure out how they're doing it. But like, we're gonna want to reconnect. So I think tours and concerts and, you know, take songs that you've written in Suno and start a band. Make a cover band of the songs you wrote using AI. Yeah, the Taylor Swift $4 billion economy. All right, it's like when Fred Savage had the Power Glove. Exactly. It'll be difficult to go on tour. Tony Williams, my cousin just went through the same cycle of fearing it to being inspired. Yeah, it's so I've got, let me share one other thing and then we'll get on out of here. If you go to the AI Salon, so if you go to the salon.ai and say join our community, the very first little space is called Welcome to the AI Salon. And I've got in here what I call we've got the cycle of AI readiness. Play first, create excellence, generously lead. That's kind of the ethos of the salon, the mission. And I've got the 5 stages of AI adoption. And I base these on the 5 stages of grief because I think it's a similar kind of thing. The first stage of grief is denial or dismissal. And so I think a lot of people right now, they've either demonized AI or they've dismissed it. It's not very good. Or they're just, you know, it's bad, it's evil, right? It's going to kill us, right? And so step 1 is dismissal. It's just another tech fad, nothing to see here. People dismissing it. Oh, did you use AI for that? I can judge you now. I can judge you as a talentless oaf. Yeah. AI, I push a button, out comes the thing. Yeah, whatever, right? I get a lot of that, right? That's dismissal right there in stage 1. Stage 2 is you've had your first Kevin McAllister moment. It's this moment of awe where you actually, for the first time, understand, you internalize kind of the power of what this thing is. Computers have never acted this way in our lifetimes. Computers have always taken an input, processed that data in some sort of logic that was programmed by a human, that was a deterministic output, right? You put in an input, it processes it, and it comes out in a predictable way. That's not what computers are doing when they're using generative AI. They are generating new original stuff. Stage 2 is where you experience that and you go, oh, I didn't know it could do that. I had no idea. That phrase, I had no idea. I hear that over and over and over again, where I'm showing someone something. They're like, oh yeah, I use ChatGPT all the time. Yeah, I use it for emails. Yep. I use it a lot. Yep. And then I'm like, oh, did you see it could do this? Oh my God, it could do that. And I'm like, well, yeah, if you didn't know it could do that, did you know it could do that? Oh my, it can do. I had no idea. Like that I had no idea moment, that's stage 2. You realize all of a sudden this thing is something different, right? Stage 3 is you now start playing with it and you want to discover it on your own. And you go, oh my God, it can do this, it can do that, it can do that. You get really excited. And then you realize, holy shit, I've spent 30 years trying to be good at that. And now it's better than me. Fear, wonder, fear that coexist. Stage 3 is this coexistence of wonder and fear. Stage 4 is when you kind of let go of the ego and say, okay, it's smarter than me, because it is. If you don't think it is, it is. I'm sorry, it is. And you give into it and you say, wait a minute, I could either be in competition with this thing or I could be in collaboration with this thing. I'm going to choose to be in collaboration with this thing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the ideas and I'm going to strap this AI on thing like a jetpack. And I'm going to have it amplify my ideas. That's stage 4. I find myself right now going back and forth between stage 3 and stage 4. I use it like a jetpack. I'm like, ooh, this is great. And then like some new thing comes along and I'm like, holy shit. Oh my God, that's amazing. Oh my God, that's terrifying. Right? Until I kind of internalize it and put it back in the jetpack. And then stage 5 is kind of pure self-expression, or David Shapiro calls it cognitive hyperabundance. The point at which it's just literally anything you want, you just ask for and it will materialize. We're not anywhere close to stage 5 yet. The tech isn't there. So anyway, all right. Yeah, well, we're not special. We're not just special. The salon is great. So do me a favor. If you have not joined the AI Salon, get your ass there. thesalon.ai. We have a brand new, shiny new website that's amazing. Tells you all about it, all the stuff we're up to. You'll see events. You'll see posts from the community. And then you say, join our community, and that'll take you into the community site. And we're re-architecting it right now. We're kind of halfway through that, and it's really exciting. All right, so go do that. Today's Tuesday, tomorrow's Wednesday. So tomorrow night it'll be 8 p.m., same time, same place. I didn't even get to, there were a couple of things I wanted to show tonight. There's some new features in Runway ML that I thought were kind of exciting. I'm going to do, so when did we do Back to Basics, Brandon? 2 months ago? September? Okay, so in September, I did this thing called Back to Basics, where I took 5 days. And day 1 was overview of AI. Day 2 was ChatGPT. Day 3 was images. Day 4 was sort of integrating it. And day 5 was questions. I'm going to do a new Back to Basics. I'm going to do a new 5-day course. I'll probably do it in the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that. I need to put it together. It's going to be 5 days. So 5 nights here. And all 5 nights are just going to be ChatGPT. We're going to do 5 nights of ChatGPT, just figuring out what the fuck is in it. Because one of the things that I confronted when I did my Back to Basics course, where ChatGPT only had an hour, was in 1 hour, I could not even scratch the surface of what ChatGPT now does. So I'm going to do a full 5-day week coming up. So just know, again, just keep coming here nightly. Become an irregular. If you show up here nightly, you are an irregular. It's weird. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't come here. But people do. But keep doing that. And then we're going to do a relatively deep dive on ChatGPT. We're going to take a full week on it. So anyway. All right. Beautiful, beautiful. Tomorrow, Brandon and Gwen are at MayCon, so they're there as representatives of the AI Salon. I'll chat all the time, exactly. How hard is it to learn how to build an app? How complicated of an app can I build by myself? I'm Has. So first of all, what you need to do is go watch the beginning of this episode. So when I press stop tonight, this will be live on the YouTube channel. So the YouTube channel is Learning Lab-AI on YouTube. We vibe coded at the beginning of this. We created an amazing app with a single prompt. You can do incredibly sophisticated apps with zero knowledge. They may not be scalable, they may not be perfect, but if you've never coded before, what you can do right now with zero knowledge is insane. And in fact, if you just want to blow your own mind and not watch me do it, just go to lovable.dev, D-E-V, Lovable.dev. Just go there right now, describe your app, and hit the button. And then sit back and wait for 5 minutes and see what it generates. It'll blow your mind. It'll blow your mind. Yeah, exactly. Try lovable.dev. There you go. All right. That's it. I hope you all had fun tonight. Enjoyed my little tirade. I was all passionate tonight. Good Lord. I'm going to go rest and have fluids. I can tell that I talked too much and didn't drink enough. So I will see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.